Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah.
Wake up, Andrew. Come on.
It's been a long New Year. What can I say?
Yeah.
We hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas, had a wonderful New Year. Apparently, I drank too much and woke up with Nico. That's why we're here. I'm not sure. Just kidding.
Whoa. What do you mean woke up with Nico?
I was putting the joke out.
That's not funny.
Hey, see? Colin has the right ideal. So we were having a little bit of issues before we started with our guest with some audio. So he's restarting his computer, and we'll be trying to get back with him here real shortly. But let's see. I guess we should probably go to our sponsor video from Splitjaw, since he's so nice and gracious to sponsor our show for us. Always happy to have him as our sponsor, so we'll be right back.
The following episode of Large Scale Live is brought to you by Splitjaw, makers of quality metal products for the G-scale modeling world. For rail clamps, expansion joints, bridges, and more, Splitjaw Products has you covered. For more information, visit their website at www.railclamp.com.
Did I cut you off?
That's okay. I'm married. I'm used to it.
Sorry about that. I just know, was it the last show? I forgot until about 15 minutes in to actually run that for him. And I'm like, I had it in my mind today. I'm like, I got to make sure I don't forget that this time.
As long as we play it, it's good.
Hey, none of that talk around here, Colin. Get that Mac stuff out of here. So I see we got quite a few people in the, wow, 54 people, 53, 54. Huh. Not doing too bad tonight.
So, the corporate ladder.
What do we have going on tonight? Well, once Shane gets back to us, we have our guest to have on.
What do we have planned, or what's actually going to happen? That's two different things.
Well, I know that most probably saw in the chat we got a special giveaway tonight. I don't know.
It's a little giveaway.
At what point we want to reveal exactly what that giveaway is.
Well, I think we should wait a little bit. We got to let them,
Oh yeah.
let it.
But it's a pretty nice giveaway item. I think people will like it. You'll just have to hang on. To answer your question, Heath, yeah, this is going to Facebook and YouTube. So if you're seeing 37, the rest are over on Facebook land. Either
that or we're just lying, trying to grow
I'll put Andrew's comment to rest. No, I'm not giving away a GP60 tonight.
I got robbed again.
You got robbed again. That would be a pretty amazing giveaway, but I'm not that amazing of a guy. Let's see. Hey, Dan, Joseph is volunteering you to be on. I know you keep dodging me, but, just saying. Let me check and make sure that I didn't get a message from Dan here real quick.
I don't see anything. I don't see him in the studio either. So,
well, let's see here. What events do we have coming up, Nico? Let me go to the website. Should I get that out of the way?
Well, the show's coming up. We have a couple shows coming up in the new year. Happy 2023, everyone.
See, of course, we have.
Is that a Lionel box I see behind you?
Ooh. No, you're not seeing that. There's a story behind that, but that's for another day.
I thought maybe, Sean was getting in your ear or something. And
No, none of that. Wow, I'm kind of wondering why I don't have the sites pulled up for these different shows that are coming up.
I know I'm doing a show in Hampton, Virginia in February. I'll have G-Scale.
You have the info for that or no?
I could in a second here.
All right. I apologize, everybody.
Yeah,
I know I do that every time because I'm not prepared. Oh boy, Gerald Fritz sent me a picture. His wife helped him put the show on the TV. The whole family's watching.
oh, cool.
I apologize for what your family's being forced to watch right now.
What do you mean?
I'm just kidding. No, he messaged me separately. Sorry, not to confuse you. Now you know how Sean felt for 32 episodes, or 36, whatever it was.
Is that why I'm starting to feel this way?
Yeah. So,
of course, I had it right here. Now I can't find it.
That's the way it
This is going good tonight. We're starting off great for this new year.
You know, it can only go uphill from here, maybe.
Oh, yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
I mean, it could go downhill, but we'll try and go the other way with it. So let's see. So of course, the East Coast show will be coming up on April 14th and 15th. Of course, their website is eclsts.com for the East Coast show. And I'm trying to think. I don't think I've gotten anything official for the. There is a show that's going to take place in Massachusetts, the same location as where Amherst is at. But I don't know that they have anything on their website yet. But that's going to be. Let's see. I believe that's going to be the 28th and 29th, or 29th and 30th. I'm not sure if Dan or somebody will message me here and say, here it is again. I sent it to you before. But I don't believe that's up on their site yet. Let's see here.
The show I'm doing is February 4th and 5th at the Hampton Convention Center.
Okay.
There will also be a G-scale layout there with the Tidewater big train operators.
Yeah, I don't see anything on their site yet, but the one in Massachusetts is going to be, from my understanding, it's large scale. Now, I've heard rumors that might include O gauge or 2-rail O scale. That part I'm not sure on, but the main focus of the show is supposed to be large scale. Oh, yeah.
Yep, I was just going to click on it. Yeah, bait me to it.
He can't talk tonight. I have no idea what John's talking about.
He can't.
There we go.
I get. Maybe he's talking about you not being able to.
April 28th and 29th in Springfield, O and G scale. Ray, you want to see Jackson? It's not Jackson. Ray. Yeah, I'm going to apologize if I say the last name wrong. Jacobson. Want to take a crack at that, Nico? I apologize, Ray.
Ray J.
Sorry.
He says, John said you're tongue-tied tonight.
Yeah, it could be. I'm feeling a little bit tired today. Of course, there is the BTO convention that will be coming up. Let's see if I got the info on that here.
And he's got out west. There is the Hustlers Model Railroad Festival in. Oh, what'd you do? In Utah.
Okay. I see Ray commented back. No worries. I've been called worse. All right.
And then Colin also said that the National Garden Railroad Convention is in July, and he's open. He's got an open house. I lost it. Where is he? There it is. He'll be open for 2023 NGRC. July 1st
his layout will be open. Okay.
Yes.
Had to think about that for a moment there. I'm like, what's he talking about? I see Shane pop back in the background. I'm just chatting with him here a moment to see if he's still having issues or not.
Okay.
And he still has no sound.
So as for news, I know that Bachmann had announced that they were shipping in 4 weeks. So those -9s should be on the water right now, or nearing their boat.
Oh, they did say that? Sweet.
Yeah, they had a post about 4 weeks ago.
Ah.
So
Let's
hopefully we'll be seeing those soon. I'm looking forward to getting mine. Number 3 CSX.
Sorry, bear with me a little moment here, folks. I'm just trying to work with Shane here to see if we can figure out what's going on. Let's see here.
It's not a good night tonight.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
I'm off a little bit tonight because I realized, I found out today after doing a little investigating in my master bathroom, I got to gut it and redo the whole bathroom. So that's awesome. 2023 news for me. And then what else we got going on? I'm like at a loss for words tonight, too. This is bad.
Could advertise this as raw and unplugged. Right?
Yes. This is what happens when you're live and you start having issues. Things start falling apart.
wait. Let me check something here. Is Heath in this chat somewhere? If he is, I'm blaming him. Yeah, he was in here. I popped him up.
Yeah.
Where you at, Heath? This is your fault. Yeah. No, I missed that comment, Heath, but no. So remember, when things go wrong, it's #blame Heath.
I'll go with that.
Let's see. Let me go back to Shane.
So I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas and trains were running.
There we go. Wigwag.
#blame
has
Heath.
it right. Sorry, go ahead, Nico.
Nothing. I was going to say #blame Heath. I was just saying, I hope everybody had a nice Christmas and, running chains, enjoying family. And hopefully people got trains for Christmas.
Let's see.
Oh, look, Ray spelt it out for you phonetically. Jacobson.
Let's see.
Running chains? Yes, chains. What's the matter? You don't like chains?
Chains? What are you talking about?
I don't know. I guess I
work with. Okay, so show some speakers with music.
Has anyone have a GP60M version? I don't think you got the M version, right?
No, I don't think any of the M's have come out yet. I have heard absolutely nothing about those ones. Speakers work with music.
Are you chatting with Shane?
Yeah.
So our guest is having a little bit of computer issues.
Shane says, I hear you now with question marks. Well, let's pop Shane up here and see.
See if we can bring him on.
Let's see. All right. Can you hear us, Shane? All right. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep, I hear you. I think we're getting somewhere.
Oh boy, we got bad lag.
Yeah. Are you on Wi-Fi, Shane, or are you on wired internet right now? Are you on wired internet right now?
I can't even touch the picture into a error message with
Well. Must be the sound of the error message coming up on his end.
I thought that was his analog. I can't even talk tonight. We got lag and we got feedback.
Yeah, we're getting feedback from Shane's end for some reason here. Let me make sure that echo cancellation's on. Let me make sure mine's on.
That error message sounded like an analog diesel horn. That's what I was trying to get out before. The old sound systems from the 90s.
I can hear you guys, but I almost... I have a weird noise in the background. Sounds like scratching on paper.
That's what I have too.
Why am I the only one not? Is anybody out in the wide world of the web listening? Are you hearing like scratching noises or anything weird? Because I'm not hearing it. If you are, drop something in the chat. Let us know again.
Cody said he's hearing feedback.
Oh, you don't have YouTube open in another window, do you, Shane? Like actually like playing the video?
No, this is the only thing. Just no. I'm just on that window open.
Yeah, it sounds like it's everybody's hearing it.
All
Oh,
right.
Taya's not hearing it. Yeah, it sounds like someone chewing. Yep.
Oh, heck. Yeah, let me actually put my earphones in and see if I'm hearing it.
Uh-oh, he's going to break out into his Britney impersonation.
I'll just have to hold up cue cards.
Yeah, I'm not really hearing it with my earbuds in. That's
Well,
kind
here.
of weird.
Yeah.
Let me know if it clears the noise up in your end.
Well, I've been hearing it since before we even went on live. So I don't know what it is. Andrew didn't hear it, so I thought it was just my computer.
I think it is you guys.
Us and 50 other people in the chat. Here you go. Check the wire for the catastrophic converter.
Now
Oh my goodness, I can't talk tonight.
Hang on a minute here.
Yeah, Sean said it started as soon as it went live.
Is that any better now?
Yes. What was that? Was it you?
Wrong microphone.
What?
Wrong microphone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
No wonder why you couldn't hear it.
As soon as you said that, I was looking at my mic feedback, and I tapped my mic, and I'm like, I bet you the audio is going through that stupid webcam. I didn't even think about it. All right. All right. So,
Hey.
Did everybody else say the sound sounds good on the web out there?
We're nothing but professionals here.
I can buy all the equipment in the world, but if you don't know how to use it, what are you going to do? All right. So we have with us tonight Mr. Shane Stewart. How are you doing tonight, Shane?
Oh, no. We lost him again.
Uh-oh. I think he's lagging up. Well, on the positive note, we do have most of his stuff on my end to play, but we'd like to chat with him some.
Can't set it any lower.
Well, if we just freeze him there, and then maybe we could. Are you a good ventriloquist? Maybe we can make Shane's voice.
Let me. Hey Shane, you should be able. Let's try something here. You should be able to click on.
What if my voice still comes?
What happens if you just drop your video off, Shane? You should have an option to click to turn your video off but leave the mic on. I'm just curious if the audio picks up okay once the video's gone.
Stop.
All right.
Yeah.
Still there?
Okay. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Is that working better?
Yeah. Yeah. That audio is actually a lot better. I think dropping the video out.
Yes. Perfect.
Well, ironically enough, this is the way we had talked about doing this some time ago. All right. So, all right.
How come
Well,
our test stream worked perfect?
Because that was a test stream.
everything works perfect when you're testing it.
My
So-
computer is acting like Windows is.
I think he's still cutting in and out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep, we're 23 minutes in. Just like, let's get started. At least do something here.
All right. Well, let's see here.
Sorry, everybody. Our apologies.
Yeah. Like I said, we kind of tested everything out, and it didn't quite go the way we expected it to tonight, even though we tested it. So
who we have on here tonight is Shane Stewart from Canada. As from some of the people could see in the background, he had some CN locomotives and other rolling stock that he builds. So he does a lot of kit bashing and modifying. And Shane, I don't know, is Shane still on or is he gone?
Looks like he's still
Nope.
there. Can you hear us?
I'm here.
Shane was also an engineer,
Yep,
correct?
I can hear you.
For the CN. So he got a
a long time ago.
Yes. So he had firsthand ability to go out and, while he's running the engine, he would climb out on the hood and start measuring it. I'm kidding. So he does have a lot of dimensional drawings that he had made while he was waiting on sidings and things of that nature. He didn't break any rules. So I don't know where you want to start, Andrew, on what he.
Well, I was going to say I got a short clip here that he had sent me that it kind of shows his progression of his garden railroad as he was building it, so people can kind of see what Shane started with and what he's built. Sound like a good place to start, Shane?
Sure, sounds good, Andrew.
All right. I'm feeling tired looking at all the work he did.
As I say, was the first train the lawnmower train?
I feel like I'm right there right now. Although I have to imagine it's a little bit colder right now up there.
We saw a Procore.
Don't be getting Kyle all excited now.
That's why I was trying to call.
Are you still with us there, Shane?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So I have to say, all of this work you did, none of it really looked easy, but it all looks really fabulous.
This is commitment in building a new deck so he can make his trains go underneath it.
You know, I think Kyle kind of did something similar. He like moved part of his deck so he could make the trains go underneath it.
Look like some garden metal models bridges.
Shane, is this dead rail or is this track power? I can't remember. I believe you run Revolution, correct?
I run battery.
You run battery? Okay.
Might be a little more expensive, but
Nope. I think that's the end of the clip there. Sorry, you were starting to say something there, Shane, before the volume went up.
oh, I was just saying, battery's probably a little more expensive, but it sure makes things easier for running.
Yeah, I can't say I disagree with you. I like to give Jonathan Straczynski a hard time all the time because I like to run track power, and he tells me it's dumb, but you know. Now, you had sent me another video, and I'm sure it's one a lot of people would like to see. The coal train build, that's for the rotary guns, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Stephen from Wigwag Workshop, for the super chat. I really, really appreciate it.
What is that?
Super chat is if you just want to donate some money to the channel.
Oh,
of course, you know, I don't know what the division is on that. YouTube gets a little bit of it, but it's always appreciated. Although super chats are not necessary, I do appreciate it. I don't want anybody to feel like, you know, they have to do that. But let me cycle up the one that we got here for the.
I'd better get my cut of that $1.99.
Let's see here. Let me remove that and select the other one. So this video here is going to show how Shane actually goes through and builds his rotary guns, which when I watched it, after watching, I have to say, I feel like I could probably actually build one. So we'll let everybody else take a look here and see what they think.
When you're designing your builds, you're going to need some measurements from somewhere. And I convert them twice. I'll take my real measurements, convert them to 1/29th, and then I go through my styrene and find the best match to my conversion, and I'll draw it out as the actual pieces of styrene I need. So my final drawing isn't just 1/29th, it's also showing exactly what type of styrene every piece is. So it's kind of a two-step process, but I find it works out really nice. And with everything being to scale, once you start to cut stuff out, like here's some sides for the rotaries, you can actually lay things in place, make sure they fit correctly and have the correct angles before you start putting everything together. So for building supplies, I buy 4x8 sheets of 1/16 and 1/8 of an inch styrene. So I use that quite extensively for the main parts of the models, and then I just add all the little details from evergreen or plastruck that you can get at your hobby shop. So here's quite a collection of different sizes of styrene just to do all the detail work. Lots of brass for brake lines, grab irons. And then all my custom cars I build on a piece of aluminum channel. Lots of that. I got flat brass for the stirrups on the Rotary Gonds. Different sizes of stainless steel mesh for venting. Over here I've got test tubes, which are for all the locomotive and car air reservoirs. So this is your KD gauge, a KD 100-ton truck. This is the channel, 5/8 of an inch aluminum. So sometimes things work out quite nicely. I just got a piece of scrap. Here's a coupler. Just slide that to the bottom, stick it on your truck with no spacer. Look at that, lines up perfect. So, using scrap, I make these things. Some cars are a little longer, some shorter. Depends on how your end setup's going to be. You can make all your adjustments to hold everything where you want it to be. Your coupler just fits like this. There's tabs on both sides of these that you have to remove so that it'll fit. You slide that in. Once you know where your car is going to sit, you'd shave that top off flush, and that's where it's going to mount to your car. It'll be glued there. You'll have a hole for a screw for the coupler, another one just to hold the base in place, and then wherever your truck's going to be, you'll have this big hole where the cap fits into. So that is what I use for all of my custom cars, and it seems to work really nice. So let's have a look at the coal train build. This is one of my biggest scratch builds. It's going to be 20 cars when it's complete. Could grow after that, who knows, we'll see. But currently I have 7 finished and I've got 13 more under construction, so just kind of show you a bit of the process here. So you can see they might look complicated, but first thing, I cut a strip, a 4-foot strip to the correct length. That'll give me enough sides for 7 cars. So these have been matched up. You can see I got an F on both ends, so those are going to go together. Ends have been cut 1/4 inch, so they have the bit of the taper. Centers have been marked, and 1/8 of an inch from the bottom, I've taken a razor saw and just cut a joint into it. So a bit of detail added there. Your next step, I always assign a car number because cars do have some variations. So here's a set that's all mapped out for a car. I've got all the rib locations put in place. You've got the short flat ribs and you got the tapered ribs, so the S are the flat ones. Some cars will have an extra flat rib on the ends. Then these are going to be on the tops of the cars. It's just a 3/16 by 3/16 square. And I add a little flat piece on the back just so that once it's in place it gives the illusion that the car sides are a lot thinner than they really are. So here's a set with the top applied. And you probably can't see it, but there's that strip there. So looking from the top, it just looks like a real thin side coming up instead of the full 1/16 of an inch. So your next step would be to add all your ribs, and this car will have the extra ribs on the ends. Once that's done, I got a bunch of these ends. These are 1/8 of an inch. You're going to hook those in, make your rectangular shape, and then add the bottom to it. And you will end up with these, which are currently being glued into place. So this has got all the side ribs. This one has the extra end ribs. And you can see these, every second one is the tapered. That's the only difficult part of this model. And sometimes it's overwhelming just because you need so many pieces, but once they're dry, on the bottom, you want to mark it out for all the bottom ribs, as well as the piece of aluminum running along the bottom. And then you take a razor saw, and all of these stick out just a hair. You want to take a razor saw and just cut those flush, so your bottom ribs will fit on really nice. So there's a rib. This goes on the brake line side. That's just going to fit right there. But once that has been cut flush, that will sit really nice. Currently it doesn't sit nice because I haven't cut those flush yet. Now when you get those in place, it's going to look like this. And here's a piece of channel that's all set to go on the bottom. It's set up to hold the couplers and the trucks. It's going to get some flat ribs over the trucks that look like that. There's a lot of different styles, but this is probably the most common style. Those will go right there. Here is a channel that has the mounts all in place with the trucks and couplers. And then you can see it's flush just up to where the end of the car is going to be. So here's a car that's got the flat ones in place. Everything's ready to go. So once I'm ready, I will glue that in place and it's going to be permanent. And then all you got to do is you add some end framing and all your ladders and brake detail, and that's all there really is to it. So there's a lot of pieces, but it's really not a super difficult project.
All right. Well, if that doesn't put some thoughts in everybody's minds on scratch building cars, I don't know what will, because I have to say that was pretty in depth, Shane. Thank you very much for that.
We have a couple questions, as you pointed out.
Yep, I'm scrolling back up here to see. I think the first one was from Jeff Jacobs. Let's see. I see he was saying, what are you always supposed to cement? I think he was asking what type of cement, maybe? I know I saw that question somewhere in there. What type of glue are you using on the styrene, Shane?
I'm just using plastic weld.
That stuff there?
Exactly.
It works very well.
My bottle's empty, that's why. Okay.
Dackman said, does he have a plan to build a rotary coal dump?
No, I'm on the prairies. The guys on the coast need that.
Wait, you said Dackman? I think everybody remembers that guy, don't they?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the large scale consolidated live show tonight.
And yes, I got permission. You don't know the money I had to pay him to use his likeness for that deep fake.
John asked about the glue as well, which is the plastic weld. Let's see what else. It's amazing how quickly he builds those cars. I mean, yeah, you just, you take it off the screen, and the next thing you know, you're bringing it back with more parts glued to it.
I see Crazy Train. Oops, sorry, I might have just clicked off what you had on there. Was wondering, which obviously it changes with the cost of things, but how much would you say it costs to build one car, Shane?
Oh boy, it's going up by the month, unfortunately, but a rough guess, maybe $100.
That isn't bad.
I'm paying 65 just for the trucks.
Yeah, I was going to say that the trucks are probably half of it.
But the technology is there to 3D print your own trucks. But obviously, those aren't going to be die cast like the, because you're using the KD trucks on there?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And you had a question up there from John, I think, didn't you?
Me?
Yeah. Or is that where he was asking about the type of glue?
That was where he was asked about the type of glue. And Wigwag likes to smell the glue, obviously, here.
Steven, what are we going to do with you? Let's see. Chuck Lardy was asking the price point. We answered that.
And Kyle Kuiper's offering $500 per car. I think that's what he's saying.
I think you need to send him a bill, Shane. Has he paid you for that one yet?
10-year delivery time. I think he stole that one off the interchange.
And I'm just scrolling down through here.
Oh, where do you buy the large sheets of styrene?
We just have industrial plastic shops in Edmonton. I'm sure you guys would as well. They sell a lot to sign making companies, that sort of thing.
Okay. Dunbar's asking, what do you cut the styrene with for straight, smooth cuts?
I just sign with a knife and sharp counter.
You kind of broke up a little bit there, Shane. What was that?
Did that come through?
No, I heard what you said about with a knife, and then it garbled up.
I score a line. Just using a counter edge, I just snap it.
So kind of like how people do like the composite floor or stuff, score it and snap it off.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Kyle said they delivered to the wrong interchange, so now it's his.
Yeah, I see Russell Miller was saying mech, which is actually that's actually what's inside the plastruct. I'm glad Nicholas says it gets better and better every month. I think we took a step down for the first 20 minutes of this one, but I'll take the win. Thank you, Nicholas. Let's see.
You skipped me. Ask him about the steel shot in the center sill.
Yeah. Don't tell Kyle about that. I figured it wouldn't go good through customs. I use 7/16" stainless steel ball bearings. There's 18 in the bottom of each. That's weight, and it makes noise when it's moving.
Oh. So it has a sound generator in it.
So
yeah, a very cheap one.
Huh. So Kyle needs to add some weight to his car then?
I wouldn't recommend taking it apart once it's together.
Okay, you heard the disclaimer, Kyle. Let's see.
Oh, sorry, I double clicked. I bought a Cricut maker that can cut. I guess
Depending on which Cricut machines you get, you can actually score like styrene with it, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have seen that. Oh, yeah, and there's Wigwag. I know he's got the Cameo for.
Cool.
I do not own a machine like that yet. One day.
I got to build my train shed first so I can empty out my garage.
If you live a little bit closer, the next town over, I saw someone that had a shed for free, but it might be kind of costly to haul it down your way.
Oh, I need a 12 by 32 foot shed. So
12 by 32.
Yes.
Good grief. Let's see here. Oh, real quick, because I meant to do it at the beginning and I forgot, is I did have a real quick, I don't know how long was that? Like, I don't know, 40-second video from Wayne Decker. He had sent me a video of his first run for the new year.
Oh.
And, go ahead.
Just for those of you who are in the States, CBR Supply has really good prices for styrene sheet.
Oh, I see there's another. Oh, boy. Yeah. I guess Crazy Train would ask about how cars hold up in a pile up. If you've never checked out some of his videos, I suggest you go to his channel and check them out. They are quite entertaining. Some people might, if you're faint of heart, maybe, if there's some mayhem in his video.
You probably don't want to watch those videos.
Yeah. I love what he does, but yeah, it comes back around to, it's your stuff, you do with it what you enjoy, but some people may, get a little bit edgy.
Oh.
Let's see here.
Maybe now would be a good time to point out again that we're going to have a bigger than usual giveaway, larger than usual for the.
It's in that box right behind me. It's in that box. We'll get to it here. All right, let's see here.
Stick around for the giveaway.
Oh, well,
if you could bear through the show.
Crazy Train, you're not a disgrace to the hobby. You do you. Everybody else does them. I mean, Jens Bang, has some videos out there destroying some stuff. Let's see here.
John wants to know if it's a Lionel box.
No. There was only that one that nobody saw.
And then Joseph says that looks like a GP60 box. I think it's a little short for a GP60.
A little bit. So let me show this video real quick that Wayne Decker sent me because I did want to show it. It's of his Olympic torch train. And at the end of it, he actually has a scratch-built torch car that he did, which I thought was really, really nice. And then we have some more stuff at Shane's that we can show as well. I've always loved watching the processes. Wayne's been doing that train, especially the torch car is really nice on that. So I'm glad that some of us were actually able to get out and run some stuff on New Year's Day. I didn't quite get there myself.
Vinny did some running today, but I was busy in the bathroom.
Wait.
That didn't sound good, but
no, I was going to ask: was the wreck? The wreck was yesterday or the other day, wasn't it?
yeah, I wasn't. I was at work, or I was nowhere to be found. So
you weren't running the train, not paying attention again.
nope.
Let's see here.
I'm not sure if Kyle's trying to tell you that he sent you a photo, or he's telling you that you sent him a photo.
No, he sent me a photo, and I think he would like me to show it. Let's see here.
I like how he had the. It looked like in the back he had the top of a telephone pole in that video. It looked like he had a telephone pole with the glass insulators displayed on it. That was really cool too.
Let's see here. I get rid of a couple of these other videos I had in here. And then, yeah, what Kyle sent me. Sure. Well, actually, there's what I wanted to show earlier, which was for the Big Train Operators Convention coming up in June of this year. I'm glad that was there because I forgot all about it with the chaos that was going on.
I don't know if I'd consider that a full engine. That's kind of like a quarter of an engine.
Oh, that's what the Pico switcher, correct?
Yes. I believe that you could make that either battery or track.
Ah, okay. So here is the picture Kyle wanted me to show. He was over at TJ Weber's, I guess, playing today. And that is the GP60 that TJ has. That I believe they've had that for a little while, because actually they had that when we were over at RLD, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Nico?
Yep. He had two. I believe he had that one and the Southern Pacific.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he did have the Southern Pacific. That's correct. So, all right. Let's take a look here. So, what else did you send me, Shane? We have... Oh, I bet you people would love to see his SD60F build. What do you think?
I'd love to see it.
On the edge of your seat, aren't you?
I am.
Nope, not that. Wrong one again.
We saw that already.
But it's still exciting. Let's see. Video SD60F.
My most complicated build to date has been the SD60Fs. The prototype's in the background. I completed it, it's probably roughly 5 years ago now. And then over the last year, I've completed 3 more. Made a few improvements from what I've learned from building the first one. These new ones, the only thing they need for completion is I'm currently working on the ditch lights. Once those are on, I can seal everything down and stick on what's left of the handrails, and they'll be all ready to go. So these are built on a custom base. It's just a 1/8 of an inch piece of styrene, and then I've got aluminum angle inside, piece on each side that runs from one end to the other, and that gives them their strength. The fuel tanks have a pretty heavy duty mount inside that ties right into that frame. It gives them a really solid lifting point. So these are actually pretty easy to handle, probably more so than some of the store-bought locomotives. One thing I've improved on these is on the original, the rear venting has to be taken off to get at the tail light, and it's got a speaker just laying loose in the back. Didn't really like that. So because that venting has to come off, it's kind of loosened up. That's something I didn't like. So on the new ones, well, the venting is the very same design. Once it's in place, the plan is to leave it there. It's going to stay nice and tight. I've designed it so that I can get inside in other ways, which I'll show you in a bit. But the original design, the venting has stayed the same. That's just a piece of stainless steel mesh, and it's all styrene framework attached to it. The framing inside actually pins the mesh top and bottom, and then once you put the fold in there, kind of pulls everything tight as well. I stick these under weights, and with multiple coats of solvent, I'd say at least 5 coats, I get it to bond between the styrene and the stainless steel. And these are now 5 years old, and you can see everything's still nice and tight, so it seems to be working. I designed these so that they just slide over the locomotive wall to hold the bottom in place, and then I built a clip at the top that just clips in to the upper roof, and it's actually worked really well. It's kind of nice when you design something that works the first time and maybe even better than you thought it would. So these are designed modular, much like the real ones. The cab is a piece, middle's a piece, tail's a piece. This front area that on the real ones you've got your dynamic brakes there, your generator room, that's permanently attached. Though the roof is loose, and that's where all the toggles and controls are for the electronics, also the charging port. Another improvement, hopefully you can see it in the camera, is this front venting. I added a couple of extra fins. This rear venting is SD45 venting that I've just built a new frame and popped it into place there. So the front, once it's permanently mounted, there's 2 screws that'll go in the front to hold the front corners, and in the back I've just built a little shelf. You can see it there. That just slides into the framing on the permanent area. Here you can see the aluminum, which runs from one end to the other. This middle section never attaches, it just kind of slides into place. The tail end will be permanently attached once I'm ready to put it into service. So your battery is in this center, and that's kind of nice. If you ever need access to the battery, you can just lift that middle hood out carefully, swap your battery out, and slide the hood back into place. You don't have to take the whole model apart. So there's the center section. Not a whole lot to it. There's your battery. Lots of wiring. So what I've changed on this one, the big major change, this tail end, got a big hole in the back of this one now, which wasn't there on the original. Now I can get at the tail light through there. And then these 4 screws that you see are for a brand new, hopefully you can see it in there, I've got a 3-inch speaker with a speaker box. That slides in and is attached with the 4 screws, so it gives a lot better sound, and now there's nothing bouncing around loose in there. So like I say, when that's done, this will have a couple screws that hold it in permanently. This will always stay loose, just so you have access to the controls.
Looks like we hit the end of that one. All right, so I know we had a few questions in there.
One was somebody was asking, art. Yep, that one. We did it again. There we go.
Sure, you see the question up there, Shane. Do you got any info on that, or is that a super secret source?
No, I've been ordering that from the UK. I can get you an address after the show if anyone wants it, Andrew.
Sure, from the UK. Interesting.
I guess nobody makes stainless steel mesh in the U.S. or Canada.
For some reason, I think Dan gets it from the same place, because I remember talking to him the other day, and he was working on. I think he was talking about getting mesh from the UK as well.
And then there was a question. Where does he pre-order?
But what's the lead time on those? Shane?
I gotta get a will made, so.
What motor blocks do you use under those?
SD45.
Okay.
I see. I see. Dan said he figured that Shane weaved the mesh himself. It wouldn't surprise me.
Jay said he likes how the body is modular. Everything's easy to access.
Yes.
I never understood why some of the manufacturers didn't make like the whole top of the engine come off. Just kind of snap in.
You mean like walkways and all?
No, just the top of the engine. Like where, like think of a Dash 9 or the SD45 where the smoke unit covers come off and everything.
Yeah.
Basically the whole top came off, then you wouldn't even have to take it apart to.
I could see that. That wouldn't be bad. Would they have any other questions in there? I don't see
Another
any.
truly amazing work.
Why, thank you.
I think everybody's in awe right now, Shane.
Yes, it's quiet, and people are watching.
So I know you sent me a couple other ones here. We have your various different locomotive projects, and we also got your rolling stock projects.
That's good.
We got another question.
Oh boy. Well, you're asking tough questions now.
How many hours to build a loco?
I'd say everything is pretty much a year. And some of it is just you get tired of working, you got to take a break.
Yeah.
I've got projects laying everywhere. So sometimes I get tired of stuff and move on to the next one.
I have projects laying everywhere too, but none of them seem to move anywhere. They just kind of sit in.
My move is I shove them across the bench to make room for something else.
So a new project?
Let's see here. Let me bring up the video here that Shane sent me that kind of goes over his different locomotive projects. Now, I saw in the private chat you made a mention that there was something that you didn't mention in the video, Shane?
Yes, the SD40-2W and SD75Is, I used Collins coupler boxes, so got to get a plug for them.
Absolutely. All right, let me pull that video up here.
So this is the current fleet of custom locomotives. Some are slightly kitbashed, some are fairly major kitbashes, and there's even a few scratch builds in there. First up, we got a GP38-2. This is a GP40 base, GP40 cab, and we've got the long hood off a USA Trains GP38-2. This one has the bell between the number boards, has the old class lights, got a brake wheel on this one, headlight moved to the nose. Ditch lights on this one, the crews used to pick up a set of ditch lights for their lead locomotive only, and there were just these brackets that they slid them onto. Eventually these were welded into place. On this one all the cabling is fully exposed. Got some simple operating levers on this one, added a snow plow. Snow shields on the Canadian units, on a lot of them. This one has got no dynamic brakes, and this center section was lengthened a little. Fans were moved back. A little bit of a modification in this area. Got a shortened fuel tank off of a SD45. Pretty small tank on this one. This one's got the split air reservoirs. I'm not sure why the older CN units had a split reservoir, but they did. So those are made out of the test tubes. This rear venting was redone with some different meshes. On the tail end, again, we've got some class lights added. This one had rear ditch lights added at a later date, so different style than you see on the front. Got some heavy duty lift rings that CN added to the front and rear. Another interesting thing on a lot of these older CN units, there was a stretch of time where Canadian law required locomotives to have end ladders instead of end steps. So this one's equipped with the end ladders. On the snow shield, this box is to allow the door to open and close without hitting the snow shield. This is an SD40-2W. So it's also got the end ladders. It has the same style of ditch lights as the GP38-2. It's got the custom Canadian cab, got anti-climbers, snowplow added. This one has snow shields as well, but a little bit of a different style. These are more of a squared off type. I swapped out the motor blocks on this one. It's riding on SD70 motor blocks just to give a more realistic size of wheel. And this one has got the test tube air reservoir just to get a better scale. And it's got an SD45 fuel tank added. This dynamic brake venting, these units are about half and half, dynamic brake, no dynamic brake. This one's equipped with it, and I took this off of an SD45. I think it's got better detail for the venting. This rear venting again was replaced with different meshes. Added some venting on the body. Just some different detail. This one's equipped with a door on the conductor side as well, a rear door, which is kind of unique to a lot of these. This one really doesn't have anything changed on the rear. There's no ditch lights. Tail end we got a single headlight, which I guess is different. This one, all the SD40 series pretty much had the brake wheel on a separate stand. This is a SD40 that's been upgraded. It's now called an SD40 QRM. CN uses RM for remanufactured locomotives, and I believe the Q is because these received Qtron computer upgrades. So this is an SD45 base. We've got a GP40 tail, SD45 cab, and a custom nose. So we've got an anti-climber added, new ditch lights. The front of the cab is all new. This one's got sort of an angular cab. Doesn't grab the wind as much, I guess. This one has snow shields, pretty similar to what you see on the GP38-2. The dynamic brakes are off of an SD45. This one also has the split reservoir, as it used to be an old SD40. So those are made out of the test tubes. And ladders. This one has the ditch lights, plow, anti-climber on the rear as well, so fully equipped to operate forward and reverse. It's got the same style brake wheel as the SD40-2W. And again, we got the box here just for the door to open and close so it doesn't hit the snow shield. This is a Illinois Central GP40R. The 3129 was the only one with dynamic brakes, so that's kind of unique. Got the bell move just in front of the dynamic brakes. And this one has a L-shaped engineer windshield, which is quite different. I believe that's something that Southern Pacific was known for. Another difference compared to the other GP40Rs is this one has a low headlight. All the rest have a high one, so it's got a pretty small logo on the front because of that. And just a shot of the other side. Really, other than the new paint job, there's not a whole lot of modification on this one. All the safety striping is reflective, so at night you get a nice shine off it. This is the AristoCraft -9 with a Canadian cab added. Added an MU cable on the front. CN did not have air conditioning until they got into the computerized units, and then the AC was for the computers, not for the crews. Added a brake wheel. This one has all the brake detail on the rear truck. Got all the chains hanging, and I really like the look of it, but it makes it difficult to put the locomotive on the track, so it's something I have not done on any other unit. This one's got an environmental retention tank. When they went to the standard GE cabs, these tanks doubled in size, so I've got one under construction, but it's not going to make an appearance probably until spring, maybe late summer. And a shot of the engineer side. So this one had the short-lived CN North America logo. This is an SD60F. This is my first complete scratch build, and I've actually got 3 more that are almost complete, just some small details to add. I'll do another video on this one showing a lot more of the detail and how they were built, how everything goes together, but these have a custom base. Your front and rear steps are SD45s. Got SD45 fuel tanks, SD45 trucks. Some of the fans are from USA Trains, but for the most part everything up here is custom. All the little hinges on this one are from Burl Rice. He made those for me. These round windows are from a watch company, so they're a little watch crystal. This is a set of SD75Is. It's a fairly heavily modified version of the USA Trains SD70 Max. These are DC units. I think CN was probably the last Class 1 to switch over to AC. Not too far behind Norfolk Southern, but they're a pretty slow changeover. I added a different style of ditch lights on these. They're not as big as the ones that the standard ones come with. Different style of snow plows as well. Cabs, not a super heavy mod, but definitely different. Especially things like the SD70, 75 series all had an off-center headlight. And I notice the model makers always center it for some reason. Tail end, it's been shortened by about 5/8 of an inch just to pull the tail in closer to the rear vents. You can see the venting's a little different. This one has the kind of the high front with the steps, whereas the Max have the raised walkway coming all the way up, so bit of a difference there. Fuel tanks are lowered a bit. Here's a shot of the opposite side. See, these ones have ditch lights on the tail as well. A little change in the detail here with the brake wheel and some of this paneling. I just added some 3D detail to it, as well as the venting. It was a little flat on the original. Door added there. This little chunk sticking out here, if I were to remove that, that would turn this into an SD70i. That is the only difference right there. Here's a couple projects on the workbench. Not sure when they'll be complete, but the Dash 9 will probably be this coming summer. I've already got the cab finished, it just needs its markings. It's got the teardrop front windshields now, as well as the 4-window side windows. And then the other is a GP9 RM. So again, the RM is just remanufactured. So it's going to have the chop nose, it's going to be a yard engine, belt pack equipped, so I'll probably have the flashing red lights on it to warn that it's remote control. And it actually still runs the long hood forward, so a little bit of a historic unit.
All right, I think we hit the end of that video. You want to scroll back up, Nico, and see what questions we had for Shane?
Yes, let's see. Passenger train. Oh, so Paul missed his train.
Yeah, I can't help it if Paul's a terrible foamer,
Yeah.
We know how much Paul likes catching the trains going by his place. I think that was the selling point on the house.
Let's see. Okay, so that was how many hours per loco? We already asked that. Paul was saying that you must have plenty of SD45 locomotive parts lying around.
Quite a bit.
Not really a question.
I got 10 of them.
in all forms of pieces and parts missing, right?
Yeah, I think I got 5 that are still together, but yeah, the other 5 are all parts.
Crazy Train would like to know if the giveaway tonight is going to be one of these locomotives. No, it's not a locomotive. We've already said.
I answered that there because I really didn't want Kyle to lose his mind tonight.
Yes.
If Kyle still has a mind to lose.
John would like to know what an anti-climber is.
Yeah. Never thought about that. Not everybody knows what that is.
The deck kind of extends out over the coupler, and the idea is if you hit something, the car will jump up. That shelf will catch the coupler and cause the locomotive to go up over the car, so it's protection for the crews.
So the car doesn't go into the cab of the locomotive then? Okay.
Yeah. Best case scenario, the engine should go over the car. It doesn't always work, but there's a lot of cases where it works perfect, so it saves some lives.
We have another question. How do you feel about 3D printing? Do you consider that a form of scratch building?
Yeah, it's just, I'm old school. I'm stuck in my ways.
Yeah, I mean, most people feel that. I mean, there's some people that are, stuck in their ways with stuff, and some people like, no, you're not scratch building unless you're cutting little pieces and gluing them together. Well, it's scratch building. You're scratch building on the computer, and then the printer's doing the work.
Whatever makes you happy. Who cares what other people think?
Exactly. That's kind of the way I feel.
Same philosophy with, when people critique your railroad. It's your railroad. You run it and build it the way you want to. Let's see what else we have there.
Vincent asked, would Master Builder Stewart be willing to sell any of the locomotives?
Maybe when I'm old, but it's just, I couldn't recover my money at a reasonable price.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a labor of love.
Exactly.
When you spend that many hours on an engine or a car, or and then somebody asks to purchase it, you got to really think that hundreds of hours have gone into this. So you offer somebody $500 for an engine, you're like, your labor's worth like $3 an hour. Great show. So he's converted from 164th to 129th.
Yeah.
That's good, because when you get old like me, your eyes can't see the small stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I picked up some HO stuff the other day that I had in a box, and I really don't think I could go back to that. I see Paul's asking, how many years have you been building all those locos?
I think I started about 8 years ago with the actual builds. I'd been storing stuff for years in preparation, but it's about 8 years ago I started actually ripping stuff apart.
Wow, that's pretty good accomplishment in 8 years' time, I have to say, Shane.
Well, he's got those, Canadian winters. He's stuck inside for like 12 months out of the year.
That's true. That's true.
Do the winters get kind of rough in the area that you're in, Shane?
Well, I can't play with the railroad. Like right now, my track's probably under 2 feet of snow. So the first winter, I ran trains in the snow and it did too much damage, so I've never done it again.
Yeah, you got to
I understand
clear the
that.
tracks pretty thoroughly and make sure everything is clear on the sides. Otherwise, you start ripping stuff off.
Yes.
So I didn't see any other questions. We got one last video here from Shane where he goes over some of his rolling stock projects. I think most people are going to be blown away by the caboose that you scratch built in there. I know I really like it. Let's see here.
I built it for an interior, but so far it's just empty inside.
Ah, okay.
My next rolling stock scratch build was a couple of ballast hoppers. These are the newer style. One's CN, one's BC Rail. They're very similar, but the end framing was such a pain on the CN that I decided to go with something different the second time. I'm not sure that it was any easier, but at least it was something different to work on. So you can see there's some differences. Brake detail, ladder detail. Here's another kit bash off of the Work 900. It's a couple 40-foot gondolas from Aristocraft were cut and turned into one long one. I'm sure you've seen a lot of people do a kit bash like this. It works pretty well for a modern car. Here's a couple more Work 900 cars that you've probably seen other people do as well. They're LGB flat cars that have just been upgraded. Now have KD couplers, KD trucks, new paint jobs. They're a nicely detailed car. So the Work 900 crews needed a place to store tools and stuff, so I got this car. It's a double door 40-foot box car. I got an undecorated one for free from Aristocraft. I believe it was for buying a Dash 9. So I've painted this one up as a old CN car, really old with the CNR logo, and I like the way the paint turned out. I think it kind of has a historic look to it. So that's a mainstay now on my Work 900. This is another scratch build. This is a Point St. Charles CN caboose. Looks really nice on the tail end of the Work 900. So this was a fairly complicated build. I'd put it right up there with a lot of the Locomotive work, but I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. So the Work 900 needed a few more ballast cars, so I was able to get 3 Aristocraft 70-ton coal hoppers. I've lengthened these to 40 feet and added ballast doors, and I now got 3 of the older style ballast hoppers for the Work 900. One of the first G-scale cars I ever purchased was a CN old style covered hopper that really wasn't prototypical for CN, so it sat on my shelf for a lot of years. And then I got a 4-track lowering kit and I've turned it into an Illinois Central sand car, which I think it turned out really nice. This is one of the newest Kitbashes I've done. It's a set of LGB hoppers. I always found them to be a little short, but I thought they'd probably make a good potash hopper, so picked a couple up and converted them into Canpotex cars, and I'm actually really happy with these ones. If I come across more hoppers, I think I will add to this train. We see potash unit trains all the time in the area I live in.
I think we hit the end of that one. So I don't know that I saw a whole lot of questions. I saw a lot of people in WoW.
Yeah. Crazy Train likes your caboose.
Which one? Never mind. That's sick.
Well, since we can't see you, you know. So we're safe on that one. We know what he's talking about.
And Chuck likes your weathering on the hopper.
Thanks, Chuck.
Hey, there's
Stop it.
Go ahead, Nico. You do it. There's one of your fellow Canadians, Steve Benko, in amazement of what you've done, Shane. I know you guys are both really big into the Canadian stuff, obviously.
Are you you guys aren't near each other, are you?
No.
Opposite sides of the country.
Steve's in like Ontario area, I think.
Yes. About a 3 days drive for me.
Yes, everyone is speechless. Even Dan, who likes to ask me a million questions. So if you got Dan to not ask questions, you're doing pretty good, Shane.
I mean, I'm amazed at all the scratch building, and I mean, cutting all that styrene. That is just, it's awesome to see it come together and into, you see all those pieces, and then you're putting it together and gluing them and building layers, and next thing you know, you have an engine or a car or a caboose. It's just amazing.
Yeah, and until watching what Shane sent us, like anytime someone would say scratch building or I'd see a completed item someone did, I'd just look at it and go, yeah, there's no way I can do that. But just watching this process with the rotary guns, I mean, it's pretty straightforward.
So you're going to try to build one, Andrew?
I'd like to try a lot of things. But
I enjoy designing as much as I do building.
Yeah, and that is the really fun part of it, I think, too. I think that's where, like with the 3D printing stuff, it comes in. I mean, it's fun to do.
Yeah. Time is my biggest constraint.
Yeah. Well, if anyone wants to see a more detailed look at the SD60F at Large Scale Central, I had an article on it, and unfortunately it died in one of their upgrades, but there's still a build thread that shows a lot of the measurements and gives people an idea of how it's.
You can probably still find that, Shane, because I found some files I was looking for from an old thread on there the other day, and I went to, I believe it's archive.org for Internet Archive, and I was able to browse through the archives of the forum and actually find the old post with the download links in them.
Okay. What I should do is stick them on my own webpage, but it's just another thing to add to the long list I have.
Which, to mention, make sure you check the description of the video. There are links to your YouTube channel and your website as well in there for people to go and check out your stuff.
Oh, you know what might be a good time to point out too? We are always looking for ideas. If you want to share photos, an idea that you want to see us cover on the show, anything of that nature, you could always send us an email. info@largescaletrains.com. Questions, comments, could do this better. This could be, whatever you want to send us, we're interested. We want to hear your feedback.
Absolutely. So
I almost clicked on Paul's comment, but
I was going to tell you, you leave Paul's comment alone.
Yes, I'll leave it over there. Are you planning on covering the 2020? I guess that's to us.
I would say that's to us. Yeah, laugh it up, Paul. I see you.
You almost got me. I almost clicked on it.
If you want to see Paul's comment, go on over to the stream on Facebook and look in the chat. I'm not highlighting it. Right now, Colin, I am not planning on going out there because I got a bunch of other things that are going on, but that's not to say I wouldn't like to go or that it possibly couldn't change, but at the moment I'm not. I don't know what Nico's plans are.
To go live from the show.
Yeah.
This year's going to be a cheaper year for me. So I'm planning on doing the East Coast large scale show, and I'm really trying to get up to the Massachusetts show. But I think that's going to be a stretch for me this year.
Well, the East Coast show, as I found out the other day, actually falls on my wife and I's anniversary, and she has different plans. And I am not like copping out on it at all. I mean, it's our anniversary, so I get it. So you will see Nico there at the East Coast show.
I will definitely be there representing.
But however, as a trade-off, since I'm not going there, I'll probably try and make it up to the show in Massachusetts. So we will possibly have a presence at both shows one way or the other. I see Colin's reading my mind. An honorary anchor.
Oh, there we go. That's a good idea.
He can be the eye in the sky and a helicopter flying around.
Yeah, see, why do I need to fly out there? You're there.
Absolutely. We could probably pull that together. We'll have to talk more about that, Colin.
I just wanted to point this out.
Andrew,
not you, Andrew, this Andrew. Equipment is so expensive to buy that I'm afraid to even modify boxcars. This is real motivation. I keep telling people, there is the ridiculousness that's going on the swap pages on Facebook and eBay, but there's still good deals to be had, and just patience and keep looking. You'll find stuff at reasonable prices.
That's the biggest thing. You gotta not be ready to just pull the trigger on the first thing you see every time. If you wait long enough, you'll find stuff at a reasonable price.
Yeah, I mean, train shows. Keep going to those things. Always look under the tables. I mean, God knows how many times I found G-scale stuffed under there because the guy thought he would never sell it.
I've gotten several things that way.
So, and I mean, even, the ridiculousness is continuing. USA Trains. Oh, that's a good one we could announce. We didn't even announce that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
USA Trains announced they're going to bring back the intermodal cars, 3-car sets.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
Container sets. So now you don't have to spend $980 for a container.
Yeah, I know some people were making their own because they were getting kind of crazy.
Yep. So the sets are coming back. The 3-car sets are coming back. The individual cars with and without containers. So, and again, and even talking to Charlie Jr. at the show, he's amazed at what people are paying for some of this stuff. So, as a manufacturer, it's even the manufacturers going, really? You guys are paying that much? So, patience and not jumping on everything and overpaying doesn't help the hobby either.
Yeah, I do agree.
And if you're going to kit bash, it doesn't hurt to buy used. Some people trash things with paint. All you got to do is strip it and start over.
Yeah, that's what I said. You just look, you find stuff at good deals, and I mean, I still find good deals on eBay. I find good deals on Facebook. So I can't really, Evil Bay. I see people posting. I'm like, well, if you keep looking, you'll find stuff. You just got to be patient and watch.
Yeah, that the majority of my stuff, that's how I came across it. And I know we're getting
we're getting
the stream here. So I do have a couple short videos that Jake Littlefield sent me to show of his scratch-built bulkhead flat cars. But before we do that, I suppose we should probably go ahead and reveal what we're giving away, huh, Nico?
Well, this way we could start it, give people a chance to.
Absolutely. I have no idea what Kyle's talking about. 100 Nico.
1,800.
Ah, okay.
People charging $1,800 for the intermodal sets, and I mean, what did I send you the one the other day? It was like $2,150.
Yeah. Like, you insult me by sending those to me.
I do those searches on eBay just to laugh. I mean,
I see Dunbar's asking if there's any word on the 2024 NGRC. I don't recall hearing anything on that yet, or I may have, and I forgot already.
I haven't heard anything.
No, as soon as we get something on that, we'll bring that up. So I can pull the cover off the box. What's that, Shane?
I almost had a new bridge to show you, but it arrived 4 hours from my house and they shut down for New Year's. So it's going to be a few days late.
Split jaw bridge?
Yes, your sponsor.
Ooh, baby. So I'll show you the box, but I ain't going to tell you a whole lot because it's a box. However,
it's a brown box.
I will show you a picture of not the exact item in the box, but mine, so that you can know what we're talking about here. Let's see here.
Oh, 1-800-NICO for deals. That's what Kyle was saying.
Yeah. Don't dial 1-800-NICO. I have no idea where that's going to go. Okay. Don't take Kyle's advice. Let's see here. So, our giveaway item this evening
is Google. We're giving away Google?
Yeah, no giving away Google. So, what is in the box is a brand new Ender 3 Pro 3D printer.
Tell them what they won.
Nico and I saw this on sale a couple months back, so we decided to go ahead and pick one up. We originally meant it to be a Christmas giveaway until we realized that, the original date was going to fall right on Christmas, and that didn't really work too well. So it's kind of the after Christmas Happy New Year's giveaway item.
We're going to start you guys off good for 2023.
Yeah. Now, one thing I'll mention is there is a little bit of assembly with this. Okay. You do have to assemble the uprights and a few things. However, there's a YouTube channel that did like a 4-part video on assembling this and how to fine tune it that I used when I put mine together. very exceptional video. Whoever happens to win this, I will gladly send you the link over for that so you can see how to assemble it. So, and I believe I put it in the description as well. This is limited to, I think I put in there to the 48 lower states. I will also ship it to Canada as well. I'm not going to try shipping this overseas. I just see too many problems arising if I do that. So I do apologize about that. I just don't want to run into that headache. But so people probably like to know what they got to do to win this, right?
Paul Carbo.
Paul, I would work something out with you. How's that? But like I said, I have to keep it within my means of shipping this thing. I don't want to run into some crazy astronomical shipping price because I'm going to pay to ship it. It's not going to cost you anything. So to enter this,
what is it? What is it? I want to enter.
What? No, you're not allowed. Wait a minute. Where's Vincent at? You got him on the side somewhere. Going to enter, don't you? So, if you would like to win this brand new in the box 3D printer, you just got to put hashtag large scale in the chat. And it does have to be hashtag and no spaces in there, just like you see it in the scroll. Hashtag large scale is all you got to put in there to win it. Yeah, no Rob Nico, Kyle. So while that is scrolling there, let me see how to minimize that back down.
Look at him go. Look at him go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now we got their attention.
So while people are hammering away there on the hashtag large scale, I'd like to show you these couple videos that Jake Littlefield sent me. And let's see here. I do have to say I always enjoy seeing videos and pictures of Jake's layout. It's a very nice looking layout. I believe coming up here in the train should be the bulkheads that he scratch built. Yep, there we go.
Oh, nice.
And I think he had one more short video that he sent me here.
Why does it sound like it's chuffing?
Sounds like it's chuffing. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to say, I love the trestle work that he has going on there.
Andrew, I just sent you that wire mesh info.
Oh, for the, okay.
Stainless steel wire mesh.
Where did you, oh, okay, I see. I got like 10 different chats going here. Wire mesh. Okay, I'll wait to stick that up in the chat here in a moment. I don't want to interrupt the giveaway thing going on there. Just remind me to come back to that.
You sure I can't enter? I really need a new printer.
It wouldn't be very sporting of you to enter.
Well, for all the times I got robbed, I mean, I think it's fair.
Although when we talked about it, Vincent said he should enter so you guys have another printer, and then I think you shut him down really quick. So
yeah, that's not fair. That's not fair.
So I will. I'll let that run for another 5-6 minutes here. So, did we have any questions from the last video on Shane? I don't think we did, right? We didn't miss anything on that.
Nope.
So, we'll take a look at something new that I got sitting behind me here. Just have to give me a moment here so I can get a different camera here so we can take a look at it. So, let's see.
John said, but technically, if Vincent wins, it is his, not Nico's. Well, what's mine is his, and what's his is his. So it really doesn't matter.
But I always like, when you go to look for your tools after he's used them.
Oh, yeah. That's always fun. Yep.
All right. So that's working.
John wants to see the Lionel train now.
No, John. Bad John. So, let's see if we can get some more light going here without blinding everybody.
Uh-oh. Here comes the glare.
Don't look at my head if you don't want to go blind.
Kyle wants to know how many rotary guns Shane is up to now. How many have you completed?
They're finished. I'm not sure when they'll be done.
So you broke up a little bit. How many do you have completed?
I've got 13 under construction.
13 under construction, and how many are actually done?
7.
7 are done. 7 are done, 13 in the works.
Dang. All right. Let's see here. Let me flip this around.
What are we looking at? What are we looking at?
That would be what we're looking at.
That looks like a GP60.
It does sort of kind of look like a GP60, doesn't it?
It looks like one. Can't you put them in the middle so we can see it big?
That's what I'm going to do.
There you go.
So I'm going to have my back to the computer screen here. So if you see a question or something in there, just let me know, Nico.
Okay.
I got to move a couple of things here. All righty. So.
Yes, Kyle, it is a GP60.
Kyle is always so alert, Now, the first thing I'll say on this is, we're only going to spend 5-7 minutes taking a look at this. On the live stream, the end of this month that we're going to do, we're actually going to spend some more time dedicated to just looking this over. Now, one thing I want to put out there right away, this is a production model. It has no electronics in it. My understanding is there were some hiccups with getting the electronics, and they were waiting on them. This is one of several that Robbie at RLD requested from them without the electronics because he was doing radio control installs. My plans are to put Revolution in this, so the electronics really were not a big concern to me. So I have not run this yet because I just got it a little over a week ago and I haven't had a chance to actually do any wiring on it. The way it is right now inside, from what I can see looking down inside of it, is there's just the wires coming up from the trucks and they're bundled up in there. So,
Crazy Train wants to know if he can run it into a big concrete beam. He wants to reenact what happened the other day.
if he wants to spend his money on it, he can I will more than happily watch him do that with his money. But yeah, no, not with mine. Let's see. I think I pre-ordered this, and the other one I'm still waiting on about. It was more than a year and a half ago. Would have been like May of 21. So a few things that
somebody actually has a question about the show the ditch lights as concern about light coming out the back of them.
Okay, give me 1 second. I can.
So Andrew, can you show us the ditch lights as concern about light coming out of the back of them? That was the question.
Yep, I can do that. You can still hear me, right, Nico?
Yep. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, that's how my wife feels about it some nights. All right. So, why am I not seeing? There we go.
And Andrew says it doesn't look like a Conrail.
Well, Conrail never had any GP60s, so all right. So, can we see that okay there?
Yep.
All right. So, obviously, without electronics, this also has no lights in it, which I have LEDs to put in. Now, I think what the question is asking is, as you can see, there's no cover on the back side of these housings. Okay. So what happens when the LEDs get inserted is you out of this back side of the housing, you're going to get light shining back. So I don't know. I have to assume we'll find out when we see ones with the electronics, but I have to assume there's going to be some type of back cover that's going to go on there once the LED's in. On mine, I may.
Cody said there is no back on the ditch lights, but it is something that can easily be fixed so you don't see any light. So, yeah. I mean, yes, you could either put a small piece of styrene over it and paint it black and cover it. You could paint the back of the LED black so you don't see the light coming out the back. So there is ways to. Yep, there you go, Gerald. Don't make a project out of this. And Travis, no, this is the AML GP60, not the GP40 or the -9 that Bachman's coming out with.
Definitely not a -9. So yeah, so like I said, that is something that will have to be addressed. Now, one thing I did notice on mine, and I noticed it on a couple other of the NS versions I've seen, I did not notice it on the Southern Pacifics, and I did notice something slightly similar on the Santa Fe, is this part of the handrail on the ends on the steps should actually be painted yellow, I believe, for NS, kind of like the yellow you see on the steps there. This is actually unpainted brass right now, so I'm not sure if just something got missed in their QC. Sorry, give me 1 second here. My phone screen went to sleep on me. So I'm not sure. I don't have an answer as to why that did not get painted. Now, the serial number that's on the box for mine says it's number 50 out of the production. So I'm sure there, can be some hiccups with stuff in the beginning. It might be fixed later on. To me, it's not a super big deal. It's not that hard for me to put some yellow paint on there. But, I did want to point that out, that if you're looking at that's not painted. That's just brass. Now, as you can see on the front, they do have a fairly decent looking plow on there with MU cables and everything.
Was the plow metal or plastic?
The plow is plastic.
Okay.
That is plastic. Now, obviously, The handrails are all metal. If I remember correctly, when AML advertised these before, I think they said the handrails are going to be plastic. They're not. They're actually metal, which to me is a good thing. I prefer to have metal handrails on there than plastic ones. Why does my phone screen keep going to sleep on me here? So let's see if we can move on here a little bit. So
is there an engineer? Is there an engineer?
No, there is not an engineer in the cab.
That's because it doesn't have electronics, so that it doesn't come with an engineer.
You know, that's a good question. I mean, you know, as I was talking to someone earlier, the engineer's not a big deal to me. I have a couple that the engineer's riding around with his head down on the floor because he came unglued years ago, and I really didn't feel like fixing them. But yeah, there's no engineer in the cab on these. The beacon that's on top there, and I'll tell you, this phone screen's really causing me issues here today.
Let it focus. There you go. Oh, nope. Out of focus.
Yeah. Hashtag blame Heath. I'm sure he's still around somewhere. So the beacon on this, come on, focus in
there. Chris Sambucci said positive train control has made the
At any rate, the beacon that's just painted. It doesn't have a functioning beacon on there. I've seen a couple people actually, if you cut that off flush, there actually is a hole underneath there that seems like it aids for actually putting one on there. The trucks on these, I've seen some people equate them to being similar to the USA Trains ones. I will tell you that the wheel diameter is a lot larger. This does not use traction tires. The axles actually do have ball bearings on them, though, rather than the brass friction bearings, which I think is really good. I think the graphics on the sides of it are really nice and crisp. I did notice a few issues on mine on the nose. I don't know if it'll show up there or not. And if it focuses. Come on, focus in there.
We'll stop moving and it'll focus. There you go.
I don't know if you can see or not. There's like maybe some small scratches in the white on the end for some reason. It's not anything too horrendous. Again, it is what it is. I'm not faulting them for it. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm just pointing it out.
Yep.
But in general, I think they did a really good job on these. Again, on the rear, we got all the MU hoses and everything on there. So it in general, I think it's pretty good. Now, I always got to fight this to get it off. There's nothing under here now, but there's actually a plate that goes on here. The ones with electronics, this is where all your switches will go for lights and motor and all that good stuff. But did anyone have any quick questions on that? Like I said, we're gonna come back around to this for our live stream the end of the month, and so we can spend some more time on it and kind of go over it.
We got a question. Is it set up for KDs or will mods have to be made to add them?
Okay, so the way they have it set up, and I wish I had a picture of it sitting the other way so I could show you. Their coupler mount is, let's see, I could probably roll it over to show you here. Let's see. That or Andrew breaks his GP60 and everybody watches him cry on the live stream. Actually,
just roll it over.
Wait, I'm going to grab a piece of foam so I'm not laying right on the table.
Don't you have a cradle?
No, I do not have a cradle. All right, so let's see here.
You got a couple other questions coming after that too.
Okay. So,
looks like it has a pad there for it.
so yeah, they do have a pad on there. To me, it doesn't seem like the most robust mount. Now, I haven't had a chance to do anything with them yet. However, our friend Colin does have cam pack boxes that he designed and printed up for these already that will allow you to mount a center set 907 KD on these. And it looks like they kind of attach a little bit more sturdier than what these are. Because like I said, I don't know. I mean, it's probably okay.
Well, those probably mount one a 906 mount right to that. That's what it looks like. You have the two on the side there.
A 906 may. Again, I haven't had a chance to investigate real deep into this, but I think you're probably onto something there, Nico.
Okay.
Again, that's something we can explore later on this month. Just to show you, of course, there's no traction tires on these.
Yay.
I'm not a traction tire fan.
It looks. Is there side bushings? Do the wheels go into the side frames or no?
No, they do. They do not actually. If you
okay,
if I can tilt it up here a little bit. As you can see, they do not.
Okay. But they do have the wires coming out of the back. I see that. Right?
Yeah. Oop. Yeah.
Just for your own sanity, and because I've seen this before on the older USA trains, put heat shrink tubing on those.
That's what I intend to do on this one, especially since the wires are unterminated up inside. I can actually easily slide shrink tube down from the top and then put it on there. Because, yeah, all it would take is for two of those to bend a little bit and touch each other or something to drop across there, and you could have some issues.
Yep.
So, yeah, you definitely want to do something with that.
I've fixed engines before that have had that on, an older USA trains that somebody upgraded to like Revo. That those just touched, and it had the same issue.
I haven't looked at my private chat to see if Dan Gilchrist has messaged me 500 things yet or not that I forgot to mention.
Smoke unit plug ready, no actual unit. So there's no smoke unit in it, obviously. That was another question.
Well, yeah, since that's part of the electronics, no, there is not one in it currently. Is it going to have a smoke unit in it? The ones that ship with all the electronics, I can't answer that for you because I haven't seen one yet. It looks like it's all set up to have that. Where did my...
We can't hear you if you're talking.
Yeah, it'd probably be better if I had a lapel mic, huh? No, I'm not sure. I have a small bag of stuff that did come with it. I'm not sure where it's laying at, but there is like a kind of a metal funnel looking piece that's intended to mount to the underside of where the smoke unit's at to funnel it into a smoke unit.
Okay.
And I do know from seeing other ones, there are mounting holes in the underside for attaching.
So it looks like it holds like an aristo-craft style? Or USA train style?
I think it's probably more like a USA style.
Okay.
Now, one thing I will mention is the stuff that came with mine, there was a speaker included in there that was kind of on the small side. I ended up getting one of the Visitons, I believe it is, that Robbie recommends. But from what I've seen of a couple other that were done, there's actually mounting holes to mount the speaker facing up out of the vents like they do on the Aristo ones.
Yeah, -9.
As you saw when I had it rolled over, there's no holes in the bottom of the fuel tanks on these for a speaker. However, the fuel tanks are hollow if you'd like to add weight. And I forget, I weighed this and I forget what the weight was, but it's actually got a decent amount of heft to it. It's not a light engine. Not by a long shot. So, well, I know we rolled past 9 o'clock to 9:12.
Yep, we are. Is it an oblong speaker or a square?
It is a square.
So it's a round speaker. It's not a rectangular, like oval speaker. It's a round.
Yeah, I wish I knew where the heck I have it laid out before we started the stream, and I don't know where I put it at. No, it's like the there we go. Cody's got me covered. Thank you, Cody.
It's a 2x3 speaker. Thank you, Cody. What did you mean by USA Trains, Nico? Cody said USA Trains, Nico. Oh, probably for the smoke unit. That's probably what he was saying.
That would be my guess.
Yes. It's the same size one that Aristocraft uses.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, we still have yet to see. To my knowledge, I have to imagine from what I've seen, there's maybe a dozen or 20 of the. Well, obviously mine's number 50 in production, so I don't know if there's actually a whole 50 of them out here floating around yet. But as the bulk of them show up and they have electronics in them, I'll be curious to see what the difference is.
So you have a month to get this up, wired and running. We want to see it running on the next show.
Well,
chop.
That's what I'd like to do. and honestly, it shouldn't be too hard to do because it's pretty much a blank slate inside. Now, I do have a second one of these that I pre-ordered. You know, if that happens to come with electronics, great. I can take a closer look at that.
That would be nice if you get that in the same time. When we get to the next show.
Well, I thought I was going to get this one in June or July of 21. So,
well, there was people that thought they were going to get them 10 years ago also. So, it happens.
Yeah, but there it is. That's a production run one. And that's what I got to say about that at the moment until I open it up and we look deeper at the end of the month. So I bet you people would probably like to know who's going to win this 3D printer. And by the way, are you still with us, Shane? Shane, go to sleep on us.
He's there. There he is.
You betcha.
Did you have any thoughts on that GP60, Shane?
I'm glad to see something new. It's not something we used on this side of the border, but it's nice to see something new.
Let's see here. We'll go back to so you can see Nico as well. All right. So, excuse me. Let me.
Hey, we can see Shane.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, he's gone.
It's got to be all the snow up there. It's slowing down the internet connection. So it looks like we had 46 people altogether jump in there. So let me drop this banner off of here. And I'll give that a moment before I do the draw on it in case someone else enters in, because I know we got a little bit of a delay there. And let's see. Share.
Crazy Train can see his caboose now.
All right. So let's find out who our lucky winner is going to be tonight.
It's going to be me. It's going to be me. Oh.
If you win it and you'd like to give it to Nico, you surely can. All right, here we go.
Oh.
Who's it going to be? Who's it going to stop on? Ooh,
Chris Sambucci.
Sambucci. All right. Is that someone that you know personally, Nico? I can't remember.
Yeah, we met him down at the East Coast show last year.
Ah, okay. Well, all you need to do.
He was with the Sepkers Club, I believe.
Ah, okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. Wow, he's happy.
Hey, wait, I got to put that up real quick. Kyle always likes Rob and Nico.
it happens.
All right. So all you need to do, Christopher, is if you want to shoot me an email, info@largescaletrains.com.
Yep. See, I remember stuff. Yeah, scepters.
Send me your mailing address and that, and I'll get that shipped out to you. So even Dackman sees Chris. So, all right.
They're from down in that same area.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's about all we have for the evening.
Yeah, we killed this show.
But you know what, though? I think, everybody seemed like they enjoyed it. Again, apologies for the... here, I'll highlight Colin here. He's heading off, but I'll apologize for the train wreck, since that's part of his name there, that we had at the beginning of the show. Sometimes you can test and test and test things, and it still doesn't go right when you're ready to to go with
No, never.
So, if you're still with us, Shane, you got any parting words for us?
No, thanks for having me. It's unfortunate it didn't work out like we had hoped, but
Yeah.
It happens.
But you were kind of like a guardian angel when you sent me all the pre-recorded stuff. Like at the time when you were sending it, I was thinking like, oh, that's kind of nice. I don't know that we needed to have it pre-recorded. Boy, we needed to have that pre-recorded. So thank you for being on the ball and ahead of the game on that. And I think it brought a lot of good stuff to everybody that was watching. I know I feel inspired to not be afraid of scratch building. Not that I'm going to necessarily go and run out and try it, because I got 5 million other things sitting here in pieces. So our next show is going to be January 29th.
And hopefully it'll be better than this one.
But,
start out better. That's what I meant. Not the show.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I had to think
Sorry.
about that.
Sorry, Shane.
I know what you meant.
It'll be January 29th at 7 p.m. And we're going to take a little bit deeper dive. Hopefully I'll have my GP60 wired up by then. We may even get some input from a few other people that have received their GP60s already, just to kind of give everybody a little bit better feel for what the model is. And we'll go from there. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. Thank you, Shane, for being our guest in the shadows. And Happy New Year to everybody. And we'll see you at the end of the month.
Happy New Year, everyone.